This Morgan looks like the cheaper buy, but this one may actually be the lower risk coin because the price tag is only the first cost. For each coin, I'm going to run the same test. Surface, grade ceiling, raw value, total cost, and the realistic upside. If those 5 things don't work together, the coin may still be collectible, but it may not be a bargain. So here's your rule for this video. Surface plus the math equals your decision. Now, this first Morgan is the kind of coin that gets attention because it looks affordable. The danger is that the lower price can make you forgive things that you probably should be questioning. All right, getting into the coins. The first question is surface. Does the coin still behave like an original Morgan surface? Or is the light breaking up in a way that tells me the surface has likely been changed? Those lines matter because they're not just marks. They change how the surface reflects light. Once the surface becomes questionable, the grade ceiling changes. And this is where optimism can get really expensive. There's a huge difference in price. So for me, this is not a coin I would add more money to. It may have some value raw, but the realistic upside does not justify pretending it's a bargain. Remember, a low price does not fix a surface problem. Now, this second coin is a little bit harder because it's not a bad coin. A coin can be nice and collectible, but still not be a good place to spend grading money. This one doesn't fail the test the same way the first coin did. Now the grade ceiling matters. The question is not whether I like the coin. The question is whether the marks, strike, and overall surface can support a grade high enough to make the next step worth it. On a Morgan dollar, the cheek is one of the first places I look because small marks there can cap the upside quickly. Before I submit for grading, I want to have a rough idea of what this coin is worth raw. Because if the raw value is already close to the realistic graded value after fees, insurance, and shipping, the slab may not create enough value. Because you have to remember, the total cost is not just the grading fee. It's grading, shipping, insurance, your time, and the risk that the coin comes back lower than the optimistic grade estimate. This is the kind of coin that I may just hold raw. I can still like it, but I don't need to force extra cost into it. Now compare those two coins to a stronger Morgan. This is where paying more up front can sometimes be the cheaper decision. The surface gives me more confidence here. The luster is more convincing. The surface is cleaner, and I don't have to immediately explain away a problem. That matters because a stronger surface gives the coin more ways to win. All right, looking a little closer, trying to determine the grade ceiling, I think it's more defensible here. Looking at the cheek, I still have to be conservative, but this coin gives me more room to make a reasonable case. We do have some hairlines and some contact marks, but nothing that makes me feel that this has been altered in any way. And a quick scan of the reverse shows, again, some abrasions, a little bit of hits here and there. Now, it still has limits. Every coin does. But the difference is that the limits on this coin seem to be about a little bit easier to price. The raw value is also different because a stronger surface and a cleaner look give the coin a better exit even before submission for grading. And here's another thing you have to consider when looking at the realistic upside. This is a better date mint mark combination. So to have a coin with this type of surface and beautiful luster, it can mean a lot of difference. This is why the cheapest coin is not always the best buy. A better coin may cost more at the start, but it gives you better evidence, better liquidity, and a better chance of recovering your money. Higher price can mean lower risk. So when I say that cheap Morgan dollars can actually be expensive, this is what I mean. The real cost is not just the price tag. It's the price tag plus the problems you inherit, plus the money you add, minus what the market will realistically give you back. Because at the end of the day, the market doesn't pay you for hope. It pays for evidence. Point is not that every cheap Morgan is bad. Some cheap Morgans are fine if you know exactly what you're buying. The mistake is treating the lowest price as the best deal before you understand the surface, the grade ceiling, the raw value, the total cost of submission, and your potential realistic upside. A cheap Morgan is only a bargain if the surface, math, and exit value still work. If you'd like more videos like this, tell me in the comments which you would rather buy. One stronger Morgan or three cheaper Morgans with higher risk?